Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we talk about all things fandom and we talk about them in a positive way. If that's something that appeals to you, you've come to the right place. This is usually something Saturday, but today we have to talk about Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, our non-spoiler review. So let's jump right into it. Alright, so Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is very traditionally an Indiana Jones movie in a lot of ways. The only thing that actually does upset me is that Spielberg wasn't back to direct it, because the parts where Spielberg would have done very well are obvious throughout the movie. However, in every sense that matters, I feel that this movie actually did a good job. Phoebe Waller-Bridge plays his goddaughter in the movie. Now, this is important, and it's not really going to be a spoiler type of situation, because I know a lot of people on the internet were worried about whether or not Indiana Jones was going to be replaced by Phoebe Waller-Bridge during the movie. I will tell you this much about it. That is not going to happen. The movie pays homage to all the Indiana Jones films that came before it, even going so far as to have the fan service of having a couple special guests from the other movies make appearances throughout. It does it in a way that I feel honors the films that came before it and shows a love of this director for what came before it. And there is some speculation in terms of whether or not the last movie, the Crystal Skull, actually jumped the shark, with the whole Crystal Skull thing leading him into actually seeing an alien race for himself and all that. And I have to say that I didn't hate the Crystal Skull when I saw it at all. I actually kind of liked a lot of the Crystal Skull. Do I wish they hadn't gone there? In a way, I kind of do. However, the fact of the matter is, after thinking about it, when I was watching this movie and hoping there was a spot they wouldn't go where it looked like they were going to be going, I had an epiphany. If Indiana Jones didn't go to this supernatural spot, then guess what? His movies would not be worth watching. It would be about an archaeologist who uncovers some ancient artifact and puts it in a museum. You have to have the supernatural stuff in order for an Indiana Jones movie to work. And I feel that this movie did a good job with the material they had. And this whole thing with this particular artifact having this potential to change destiny was a very cool thing to watch them uncover, and to watch a lot of puzzles that they solved throughout the movie and kind of put together as they did. I mean, honestly, the first 20 minutes of this film is great because it really gives you those nostalgia vibes that are needed to set up the rest of this film. I feel as though this film really did try to honor what came before it, and I think it did amazing at doing so. If I had any sort of nitpicks about the movie, it would be the second act really doesn't do it for me all that much. The first 20 minutes are amazing. The second part kind of lags for a few minutes, and then you jump right back into Indiana Jones pretty much being Indiana Jones. They do kind of lead into him being older, and kind of saying that, he isn't going to be able to do all the things he's doing. And I think they treated it with respect. If Star Wars had treated Luke Skywalker with this level of respect, I'm sure we would have a lot more people who didn't hate those films as much as they did. Because ultimately, you don't have to have the hero of the movie doing somersaults and all this other stuff to make them totally cool. And Indiana Jones is a perfect example of this. This movie gives him the send-off and gives him all the things that he really deserves to see happen to Indiana Jones. And I like the fact that they didn't treat him like he was some old man, except when they had to. And when they did it with the utmost respect, I feel. They still had him manage to solve problems that he couldn't have solved now if they had treated him like he was this helpless old man. He's always been amazing. And to see him still have that level of amazingness, even though he's not physically as capable as he used to be, really does a lot for this movie. For me, the fact that they kept Indiana Jones very active throughout the movie was a must. Because if they had actually gone the way of what a lot of the hate tubers had to say, and there were a lot of people that were kind of putting out these videos saying that Phoebe Waller-Bridge is taking over the part of Indiana Jones, and that it's going to be the end of Indiana Jones. Well, Harrison Ford already told us it was going to be the end of Indiana Jones, that he wasn't doing any more movies. But I knew going into this movie, just like I knew all the way back when people started saying that simply wasn't going to be true. They were never going to replace Indiana Jones with another person, erase his entire history through some sort of time travel or whatever. And this movie proves that to a T. Basically, Indiana Jones will always be Indiana Jones. Now, Harrison Ford may be done, but we could simply get another recast. We could get another person jumping into the role of Indiana Jones very easily. But I can guarantee you this, it won't be Phoebe Waller-Bridge. And Indiana Jones will still be Indiana Jones. It will be his legacy continued, his missions continued, his artifact hunting. It will be him. And whether or not Harrison Ford ever does come back to play this character again is entirely up to Harrison Ford. However, being that he has said he's done, it becomes very much in the same vein as James Bond. Everyone said when No Time to Die came out that James Bond was over, that James Bond was going to be no more, that they had replaced him. And people had a huge problem with this. And I knew that the character of James Bond would always be James Bond. And that he would always get his own movies again. And now we jump forward a little bit and the wheels have sort of cycled into it. And we're getting casting rumors that Henry Cavill is even up for the role of James Bond. So we don't know what's going to happen yet with the character of Indiana Jones. Just know that this movie is very much in the vein of all the other Indiana Jones movies. And if you are a fan of Indiana Jones, you will probably love this movie. Sure, there are some scenes that run a little bit slow. And sure, there are some things you probably won't enjoy as much. But as a fan of the Indiana Jones character, I think you will enjoy this movie. All right, everyone, let us know what you think of this movie. If you saw it in the comments below, we want to hear from you. Make sure you share this video with all of your friends so they can be a part of the conversation as well. Then hit that like button as hard as you can. It's free. It helps the channel. We appreciate it. And Miko says we need more subscribers. You don't want to disappoint Miko, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single video we do. And then friends, at the end of the day, I know it, you know it, and Miko knows it. Fandom is family.